Hi everyone, and today we're talking interview tips. So have you ever been in that situation when you've been called for an interview or you're about to go for an interview, but you're just not sure what to do, what to wear, how to prepare and things like that. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that, share our experiences and hopefully give you guys something to take away. So I got to say, the first time I ever went for an interview, I actually wasn't sure. Should I be wearing a suit? Should I be wearing a tie? Should I be wearing a waistcoat, shoes? Can I wear smart jeans? I had absolutely no idea. I mean, how did you guys feel when you went for your first ever interview?
Yeah, I think I was pretty much the same. I think my first job was a part-time job in Sainsbury's, and I think I turned up in my school shoes and a smart pair of trousers and a shirt, and there's people in different kind of situations, and some turn up in jeans. So I think, yeah, it very is like you don't really know when you go for your first interview. It's hard to kind of grasp what you need to wear. Looking back on it now, I'm glad I did wear what I wore. I think smart casual for certain types of jobs is the way to go. Obviously, the more senior, the more professional you're going, that's when you'd go for the suit or the real smarter option.
I think it was different for me because my first interview was with HSBC, so I kind of knew what I was expected in terms of dressing sense, and I kind of like set my own expectations that I was going for a banking or a finance job, and I saw some people on videos and I studied that how you should dress, so that kind of thing helped me to present myself and look more formal. So I was not actually informal in sense of because I knew who the recruiter was. So that thing basically helped me to be more formal with dressing style.
Yeah. See, with me, it was my parents guided me a little bit and just told me always dress smart. And I think what you said, Paul, about smart casual, I think it's always the safest option. You know, I would love to go in joggers and jeans and stuff, but it's maybe not the safest option. And my parents always said, like, first impressions are important, and you know, don't be late and make sure your shirt's tucked in.
Yeah, massively. I'd agree with all of those. First impressions for me, when someone walks into a room and I'm interviewing them, you know, the first thing I look at is their shirt tucked in? Is there, you know, are their shoes looking, you know, shiny? All those little things that you kind of really wouldn't look at on a day-to-day basis, but this person is representing your brand. You know, you want them to be the best of the best. Now you want them to look like they're going to represent your brand.
Yeah,
and that's important for a company.
And of course, nobody should change the way they dress or their style. They should bring their whole self to their interview and to work, of course. But it's just about first impressions, isn't it? It's just about looking smart. So you're kind of gonna, as you say, if you're gonna represent somebody else's brand, you need to obviously make sure they're gonna trust you to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And how would you prepare for an interview? So I've always been thinking about this. I mean, in my industry, it's all digital. So for me, it's always looking at people's websites and their social media channels and stuff like that. But what would you do to prepare for an interview?
I personally, I have been into that situation, and I have been both interviewer and interviewee both. So from an interview prospect, point of view, I normally print out the job spec and then highlight some of the key skills which are needed, and then I have my CV in front of me and I try to match the skills which I have, which I can bring to the table, and I can discuss those skills. And I normally try to gather all the solid examples from my work experience. If I don't have anything from my work experience, then I try to pull out something from my personal experience, or like something scenario-based example. And I am a big fan of STAR strategy when it comes to interview. And that is exactly what I look in when I am interviewing as well, i.e. a more constructed response. So these are the few preps which I do. along with my examples, I normally try to find out more about the company or more about the role for which I am going. I try to browse their website. I try to find as much information as possible, be it through YouTube or be it through their website or be it through their LinkedIn profile, in terms to understand where they are, what they're doing, what is their vision. And I normally like try to match my vision with the job profile or with the company for which I'm going, because it is really important for me to showcase that I am coming with a similar vision and I'll be adding a value. So that is really important for me, and I say that it is a sort of homework. So preparation comes into your homework, i.e. you should know clearly in your mind what role you're going for, what does it require, and what can you bring on the table. So there are certain skills which I may not had in the past when I went for a role, but then I try to explore that sort of unknown skills via TED Talk. And TED Talks are my favorite because you can learn so much about one particular skill, and you can then work out your examples around what you learn from the social media and by reading on like so many social platforms. Homework is really important, and that shows that you have prepared for the role, and that basically gives you the confidence as well when you are in the room and talking, and whatever the other person is saying to you, that all makes sense if you're fully prepared.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I mean, my current role, I did several hours prep, understanding not just the UK entity, but the group entity, and understand how everything links together and how, you know, like you said, kind of the vision and where the company and or the brand or whoever you're working for wants to go. I also look at websites such as Glassdoor, so being able to research the company and find out from actual employers what it's like to work for that company. So yeah, I think research is massively key.
Because I think it's, you know, you apply for a job, you go for the interview, but the actual prep is probably the most important bit, isn't it? It's understanding, because, you know, there's nothing that impresses someone more than if you know your stuff about their own business, because, you know, just put yourself in the interviewer's shoes. You're hiring someone to represent the company, as you said before. If they know about the company already, and they tell you they know by showing you evidence, then you're going to think, well, this person really wants this job because they actually care. They've spent time doing their homework, as you said, which I think is absolutely key. I mean, one tip as well about kind of, you know, what to bring or what to do. Obviously, we are in a virtual world at the moment, so, you know, some things might not matter. So we were talking about kind of, you know, you mentioned clean shoes, and actually that's something my dad always used to tell me, polish your shoes. But obviously in the virtual world, that's a bit less important. It's just about just make sure your shirt is kind of nice, and maybe if you do have a tie might be a bit weird virtually, but at least a shirt on, at least the top half. You can wear shorts on the bottom, to be honest. But what I found is in the research thing is, if you're doing a telephone interview or if it's a virtual interview, you know, the person can only see the screen, like what you can see now. You don't know what's behind the screen, the computer. So you can have Post-it notes, you can have things printed. You know, I think printing the job description is a great idea and it works. But remember, you can have things dotted around. Use it to your advantage is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. That's one of the trick I say I use it. So say, for example, last time when I went for the interview, which was last year, I have a notepad with me, and I basically jotted down all my examples and try to match them with the competency skills which were needed. And I put the sticker so that it was easier for me to actually go back and check the notes. And I actually wrote proper notes in terms of like, what was the situation, what was the task, what actions I took, and what was the resolution. So if you can jot down everything, then it definitely makes things more, more simpler, and you feel less pressurized, because then you don't have to put pressure on your brain to think about an example when you are actually put on the spot. I also want to add one more thing, Akhil, just because for the prep. I personally, before the interview, I personally carry out my own mock interview. So I normally go on Google, or like I try to search for the similar jobs or what sort of questions could be asked in the interview, and I make a list of the questions. And I do mock interviews, and I normally do it either in front of the mirror so that I can actually notice myself, how I'm talking, what's the pitch of my voice, how am I, and all those kind of thing. And the more you prep in front of the mirror, the more confident you become. That is my strategy. So if you are like, your examples are not strong, but you know that you can demonstrate the skills by your expressions or your explanation, and that can only come by practicing in front of mirror. Say that, but it doesn't matter whether you're practicing in front of mirror or not, but they say you should practice it in front of mirror. That's the second thing which adds into the preparation thing as well.
And Paul, I mean,
also use family and friends as well, get them to ask questions. That's, I think, like you said, Akil, going back to when we were younger, like getting your parents to kind of use the experience they've got, because they've been there in your situation. Get them to ask you questions. It's great to do that kind of thing.
I was just gonna say, Paul, I mean, if you're interviewing and somebody comes and they do have a notebook and they do have stickers and stuff like that, is that going to put you off, or is that going to actually impress you?
I think that's going to impress me, because it shows that they've done their prep work, that they are taking the role seriously. There's nothing more for me than a bugbear when someone turns up to interview and they haven't either got their CV with them, or there's no notepad, or there's no pen, and you expect people to be taking notes during an interview. I've been again on the end of it when I've my current role. I think I took in an A4 pad, and I think I filled up at least 2 pages from making my own notes, from what the expectations were to what the role entailed, to all those kind of little things. But certainly, that would impress me if someone walked into an interview and they had their notes prepared, they had linked it to the job specification. That straight away would be ticks in the box for me.
So just to summarize, I think we're nearly there today. So I think, in order what to wear, unless it's specified, some employers interview might tell you what to wear, because sometimes it might be a casual place and things like that. So always check. If it's not there, if you go smart, there is nothing wrong with that. Smart casual, you can't really go wrong. Preparation is key. Look about the company you're actually going for. Look at their digital channels, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, social media, their website, understand what they do, where they are, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously when you do go, don't be afraid to print out job descriptions, your own CV, have stickers to on the job description, look at everything that they're asking you to do, and find examples from your life and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. If it's all there, it's great. And lastly, take a notepad with you, because it's really important to take notes. So I think that's probably it. Any final tips to add? Or have we covered them?
I think just be confident. Just believe in yourself. Because I think Anita hit it on the head earlier when she said, even if you haven't got the skills in a job situation, at some point in your life, something would have come up that you can use as a great example. So just be confident in yourself.
Absolutely.
I think somebody like one of my mentors once told me at the back of the rejection which I got, because I was really preparing for the job, and I went 4 times for the job, but I didn't get it. And she told me once that nobody's perfect for any job. You will never ever, like the recruiters or the interviewers, they will never be able to find the perfect match. There will be something missing from the candidate, or a candidate will never be able to find the perfect job, because there will be something which will not appreciate in the job. But it is a matter of us demonstrating that yes, we are perfect for the job. So it's a matter of going with the mindset that you are actually already doing that role. You actually know how the things work, and if you go with that mindset, and then you are able to portray yourself as if you're already walking into the role, and you know how important the job could be, or it could be vice versa. They will be able to, the recruiters will be able to think, oh, we definitely need that person, because you know they are coming with this mindset that they know everything about. So confidence, as Paul said, is really really important. And it's about having the right mindset that you are perfect for the job.
Yeah, I think confidence and positivity, because as you say, you might not have one thing and the interviewer might know that you haven't quite got this skill, but your positivity and your preparation and the way you've conducted yourself, they'll probably take the chance on you anyway and think, yeah, you're going to learn that. That's no problem. So guys, thank you very much for your tips and your insight, and hopefully this has helped people. If you are watching, then you know, hopefully in your next interview you're going to be very confident and you are going to get that role. So keep going and take care.